Just days ago, the government told us Australia had nothing to worry about with our fuel supply. As of this morning, 289 petrol stations across New South Wales are out of at least one fuel type. In Victoria, 101 stations have no unleaded petrol, and 83 have no diesel. They're telling you this is just panic buying. The data shows it's a supply failure. At least 6 major fuel shipments have already been cancelled or delayed. What are you actually seeing at the pumps in your suburb? Let everyone know in the comments. This chaos isn't an accident. It's the predictable outcome of decades of policy failure. And I'm going to show you exactly how the system was designed to break and why you are now on your own. Because the real reason your local servo is empty isn't here in Australia. It's thousands of kilometres away, where a geopolitical tinderbox is about to ignite the global economy, and our leaders have left us sitting right in the blast zone. So that geopolitical tinderbox I mentioned has a name, the Strait of Hormuz, the world's oil superhighway. Right now, fear it could be shut is driving the chaos you're seeing. This isn't my spin. It's from the International Energy Agency, the global energy watchdog. Their chief, Govt, says this is the greatest global energy security threat in history. 2 oil crises and 1 gas crash put all together. The latest report says the Mideast war is creating the largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. About 11 million barrels per day gone after attacks on more than 40 facilities in 9 countries. When the IEA uses language like that, it's not a routine price spike. So the market isn't reacting to supply and demand anymore. It's reacting to fear and trading on headlines. Prices surge on a threat from Iran, drop when Donald Trump talks about productive conversations, then jump straight back up when Iran denies it. The global machine is running on panic. And that's why the price at your local servo is jumping around. Not because anything real changed here, but because every overseas headline is being pumped into your fuel bill. This isn't a normal school holiday bump. It's your budget being yanked around by panic half a world away. But here's the critical point for us. The whole world's in a storm. But that still doesn't explain why Australia is so exposed. Why a distant crisis can empty our petrol stations while others keep going. That's not bad luck. It's by design. And knowing that design is how you protect yourself. That design is our single greatest economic weakness. Australia imports over 90% of its refined fuel. Let that sink in. 9 out of every 10 litres of petrol and diesel that power our trucks, trains and your car comes from a foreign-owned ship. Think of this as a simple line of dominoes. The first domino, the conflict in the Middle East, has already fallen. It just slammed into the second top domino, the refineries across Asia that we depend on. And this is where our real vulnerability lies, because our suppliers are in a deeply precarious position themselves. They rely on that same volatile Middle East for roughly 70% of their crude oil, and most are only holding about 30 to 40 days of their own inventory. They have no buffer. So the final domino is now starting to topple directly onto us. To protect their own people, these countries are beginning to restrict fuel exports. It's already happening. China and Thailand have started. South Korea has implemented export caps. In plain English, they are turning off the tap that Australia's entire economy depends on. Because when a crisis hits, they will always prioritize their own citizens over us. But this vulnerability, this total dependence, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't bad luck or an unfortunate consequence of global markets. This was a choice, a series of deliberate choices made over decades by people in Canberra that sold out our national security and left your family budget completely exposed. It's time we understood exactly who made those choices and why. Those choices made in Canberra have a price tag. First, they dismantled our national security. Our energy security, your ability to put fuel in the tank when the world turns ugly. Back then, the line was we didn't need local refineries. That imported fuel was enough. So, successive governments watched as plants shut down. Now we're left with just 2 refineries for the entire country. That's not bad luck. It's a deliberate decision to outsource our energy security and leave us dependent on those shipping lanes we just talked about, with almost no local backup. Then came the crisis. While National Cabinet held emergency meetings, Energy Minister Chris Bowen was overseas at a climate conference. On 19th March, we were told there was nothing to worry about. No need to rush out or panic buy fuel. When servos got busy, you were lectured that panic buying was the problem, not the fragile system they'd created. Days later, The same people who told you to relax suddenly admitted the scale of the crisis. They lit the fire and then had the nerve to blame you for smelling the smoke. The total economic loss from this crisis is projected at about $17 billion. That one-off hole is the clearest receipt of their betrayal. For years, a proposed gas export tax sat on the table, designed to raise roughly $17 billion a year. Collected over time, that revenue could have built a real national buffer. Instead, leaders walked away from it. Now, as Treasurer Jim Chalmers tells you the economy will lose about $17 billion, they're suddenly talking about that gas export tax like it's a brave new idea. Then they ignored the tool that could have protected you. Now, your family is paying a price almost identical to the money they chose not to collect. And in the next part, we'll unpack how the system is built so that pain always flows downhill to your street and into your home. Here's how they did it. It wasn't a conspiracy. It was decades of urban planning that sold you a dream and delivered a trap. For years, the only affordable family home was on the outer fringes of our cities. And now they lecture you about personal responsibility. That's not just insulting. For millions of Australians, it's a structural impossibility. Your household budget is a pressure cooker. That massive mortgage is the constant heat. Decades of policy failure that left your suburb with no train line and a bus twice an hour sealed the lid on a two-car lifestyle. This oil shock is the government turning the dial to maximum. Mortgage heat plus forced car dependence plus a fuel shock equals a trap built into your postcode. Here's what that looks like in dollars. On a $600,000 mortgage, recent rate hikes add roughly $180 a month to your repayments. The fuel price spike is dragging another $80 a month out of the average household budget. That's around $60 a week gone before you've changed anything. Research using the Vampire Index backs this. Outer suburban, car-dependent postcodes with poor public transport are the most financially vulnerable to fuel shocks. When petrol hits $3 a litre, an average outer suburban family is staring at an extra $2,000 a year in costs they cannot avoid. This isn't an inconvenience. It's a direct threat to your ability to make the mortgage payment. You are not failing. You were set up to fail. That brutal hit to your weekly budget is just the opening act. The symptom, not the disease. To see where this really leads, you don't listen to the politicians who built this mess. You listen to people shaping the future. Elon Musk has been warning that our fossil fuel, car-dependent way of life is built on a foundation about to fracture, and your suburb sits right on it. What he and others see coming next makes this fuel price spike look like a minor inconvenience. Elon Musk put it bluntly. Realistically, I think we need to use oil and gas in the short term because otherwise civilization will crumble. He says the world got lazy, relying on the Strait of Hormuz for energy. That's an energy security warning, not politics. Oil and gas are the base code for civilization. If that code breaks, everything on top of it does too. The pain at the pump is phase one. The real threat is these fuel prices sticking and bleeding into everything else. Our economy runs on diesel. The trucks that stock coals and woolies, the tractors that grow our food, the machines that build our homes. When diesel stays expensive, that cost lands in your grocery bill, your tradies quote, your delivery fees. Guardian analysis of Treasury scenarios suggests this petrol surge is stripping $1 billion a month from household budgets. The Treasurer's own numbers have inflation peaking in the mid to high fours. And IEFA warns of large economic risk, noting that historically, sustained oil price rises of around 50-70% can tip economies into recession. This isn't abstract economics. It's your kids' future savings, your retirement, your emergency buffer being thinned month after month, a permanent drain on your wealth, created by decades of failure on energy security. We've seen the chain, crises overseas, weak policy at home, cities built as financial pressure cookers, and now a permanent hit to your family's wealth. Which leaves one question. What now? What now? You act. We've connected the dots, from the global tinderbox to Australia's supply chains, from decades of government failure into the suburban trap, your mortgage and power bill, turned into a financial pressure cooker. It means you cannot rely on the government to protect you when things go wrong. Trusting the official story is a direct threat to your family's financial survival. This is your wake-up call, not to collapse, but to see clearly. The system that was meant to shield your home from shocks is broken. You are not. Owning your finances is how you take that power back. The only reliable path to security is to start building your own financial fortress. Because no one is coming to save you. If this is your reality, mortgage strain, a shrinking buffer every time prices jump, hit like so this warning reaches more families. Subscribe. Because from here, we stop mapping the problem and start building your solution.